Hello.
Hey, June 12, minutes after the segments, and we stopped working at 7:51.
Was it 7:51?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it was 7:51.
Right,
Yeah, no. You're right.
Okay.
You're right. 7:51 p.m. And it is now 10:07 p.m.
So that's 2 hours and something, right? That's...
2 hours 9 plus 7, 2 hours and 16 minutes later. So it's 136 minutes after.
All right. For today's work.
Smooth, as I said in the previous video. For those of you who are just watching this one only, smooth.
Yeah, it was smooth actually.
Challenging as usual. We've entered another, so to speak, you could say chapter kind of style in this one.
Yeah, how we're doing this, how this episode is structured, as it were.
And it's I was actually kind of daunted a little bit when we first jumped into this one.
Oh, I didn't know that.
I didn't have anything in mind for the bullet points we have. I'm like, how are we going to fill this out? What are we going to create here? What exactly is the tone? The tone is very broad in its own right. It's not as concentrated as some of the other segments have been. So that was something that put me at a halt when I was trying to think of what kind of content I wanted to fill it with. And I knew the feeling, but again, I didn't have a decent map for this one. And given the range that the storytelling fits within, what the range that I could fit within the bullet point that we had, I was thinking a lot like, I better make sure I get this right. It was just a thought that played in my head with this one today. So, and that kind of thinking is very daunting to me when I think like that. But then I feel really great when I actually come to the idea. It's like, when I have nothing in mind, I often think I'm not going to think of anything, actually. Every time I think I have nothing in mind, I think I'm going to get nothing. And then I sit down and just start thinking and start coming up with ideas and just start thinking of all the bad ones and all the kind of good ones. You don't want to think of I don't ever think of the bad ones first. I usually just try to think of what I like. And sometimes I think that's kind of stupid. But it's a good thing to think that. It's a bad thing to hold back on them and then you express them. So, but what always surprises me every single time is when I actually just put in the work instead of thinking about the dread of what to write. And I just decide to commit and start saying, I'm writing right now. Time to start thinking of ideas. It's great because then the ideas do come to my head. And I'm like, whoa. And I'm like, okay, I'm running with it. It feels great. It's great. And then it's never one of those situations I find that when I look back on it, sit back and then get out of the good writing groove. And then I look at what I thought of. And I think to myself, oh, shit, actually. That's kind of crap. What the fuck was I thinking? What the fuck was I? That's never happened to me. I'm very grateful for that. Because I do know there are situations where creators will get on a roll, so to speak. But then they look to put it down and come back to it and they're like, that really wasn't as good as I thought it was. I'm very grateful to myself, however I operate. Probably just because I really know what it is that I want to write, that I often do. So a lot of creation, just in general, it's difficult to know what you want and love and then actually be able to articulate it and put it down into words and actions, let alone paper. So I'm very fortunate in that I conduct myself that way. So not just fortunate, but good on me for being able to do that. So I'm delighted every time because I don't expect it every time, even though I should. So it makes me grateful for it every time it happens. It's a nice loop and very fun and very adventurous. So that's how I felt about today's segments in the beginning. And then when we got to it, it kind of just flowed and it was great. So what do you got?
Oh, yeah. Here it's very in the moment, in a very good way.
In the moment, guys.
It's very good. And actually I do agree. It's very good to be in the moment because when you stay hung up in the past or think too much about the future, just stay grounded to where you are and you can just figure out how to think about the past and plan for the future by being in the present. It's good stuff like that, I think, personally. So, for me, oh no, I have something.
He's got something.
Oh,
I'm on the edge of my seat. It's my little brother.
Well, you're brought up earlier that the scope of these segments, right, for today's one work, that they could really go anywhere. Funny enough, for me, I wasn't as daunted by that particularly because
he never is.
No, but the funniest part, the only thing I could say maybe I was daunted with or concerned with, I was like, to me, Garrett, I was like, and I want to make these, I want to make sure these are depressing. It's kind of the thing we're going.
Kind of the theme of this
kind
episode.
of a theme of this episode being very demoralizing. As in this one, this subject, Garrett and I, we wrote like a couple segments today. Garrett and I could have gone too light or too far, and so I'm glad we were able to strike that balance. It was the first segment.
You mean like too light as an uplifting?
Yeah, I'm sorry, too uplifting or too mean, as like mean for the sake of mean.
Yeah. That's what I thought. I just want to clarify.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah, that's what I meant. We could. I'll say it again. We could have gone too uplifting or too mean, just to be the sake of just to be rude, just be assholes. We could have done either one of those, especially with this content we had today, but we didn't. We wrote a couple of segments today, and we did a great job at balancing exactly what we wanted. I want to say the first segment we wrote today, we actually had kind of when we had bullet pointed, at least this is how I felt. I had a pretty good idea of what we were going with. It morphed a lot along the way because it's a very thin bullet point, but it kind of generally flowed the way.
What was the first one again?
I
remember the feeling of how I just wrote today. Hold on.
The first one,
Give me an example that we can talk out loud, sort of.
Okay, the first one. Oh, gosh, I'm trying to think how to say it
Let's see if I can think of it before.
Without spoiling it, let me see here.
I know what the second one was.
The first one.
I remember.
Yep.
I remember.
Yeah. So generally that one, it went through a lot of morphing, but the way it morphed all the time, it all stayed within a similar region Garrett and I had in mind. So that one was actually pretty actually for me personally, it was a pretty easy.
That was for me. That was tough. I don't know.
Well, for me, I'm talking from my experience. For me, it's fairly easy. The next one, however, it was like bare bones. It was like this is the bullet point. Andy goes and buys an orange. It's supposed to be kind of sad. That's it.
He's right. That's pretty much
what we had to work.
All our bullet points said.
That's pretty much what we had, and that's what we had to work with. That one.
And we had to turn that into a whole segment.
That one, actually, I'll tell you a fun process. Wait, oh no, was that the process? No, actually, that wasn't the process for a different one. But in any case, that one, I'm getting mixed up, and I don't want to rush this, and I just want to say that one was tough. But what I'm happy with, though, is that, at least for today, I can't speak for the future, but today, for me, even though it was pretty fucking tough, it didn't really melt my brain, for me personally. It didn't really hurt my head. I felt we did it I felt like we tackled it at a really good pace, even though it was really tough. But for me, I just speak for myself. It was a rather nice experience for me because in the past, I've had some really rough experiences when it's bare bone and, when sometimes it's a bad day for Garrett and I. So for today, for me, it was a very good day. I can speak for myself. They were both really tough, especially the second segment we detailed. But for me, it was it was tougher than yesterday. But at the same time, I was calmer today than yesterday. I liked it personally. I'm very happy. Very happy how we composed ourselves today, how we tackled these really tough, bare bones segments. So, yeah.
Probably because I won't be working for the summer.
That's a part of it, absolutely.
But spending time with my family.
But the thing is, I'll be honest, yesterday, when you had to go to work, that didn't really stress me out. I'll be honest.
No, it never has.
No, let's say for me, it didn't. So that's why I say for me, that's not a factor what stressed me out. And so that's a go by for me. But I will say it did probably, of course, help because I know probably you were a bit stressed out. So, of course, if you're a bit stressed out.
Yeah, I've been looking forward to taking the time off to really focus on this channel as well as writing more and exercising. I'm making this joke to some of my fellow teachers because it's like I'm a Sika sub, so I'm just gonna say it now that when I work, which is a substitute teacher for special needs children, more like an assistant to teachers. Not really a substitute teacher.
Well, what is the word?
But I am qualified to teach.
But what is well? You can tell because Sika.
Sika is stands for Special Education Classroom Assistant.
There, Sika.
So there's no teacher anywhere within the frame of Sika, but you have to know what you're doing. You still have to know what you're teaching from pre-K all the way up through pretty much high school. So, and I'm very much looking forward. And I've been joking with the Sikas as well as the other teachers there. That what I'm saying, when they ask me what I'm going to do over the summer, I'm like, a lot of my writing. I got this channel started. Some of them have expressed interest, which was always a delight. And I'm going to send them the links. Hi, if you're watching this far. You know who you are. And I said, also I'm going to do a lot of exercising. And I said, I'm going to see how cut I get over the summer. I'm not probably going to get that ripped because I don't believe in heavy lifting and whatnot, just comfortably exercising. And I do like exercise a lot.
Yeah.
So, but it's something I'm looking forward to as well.
And a lot of things. Like, also, you're looking for, like, doing house activities.
Yeah,
like
yeah,
that.
a lot of home, lot of domestic stuff. Just a lot of cleaning.
Yeah, a lot of things. Yeah, Garrett's been telling me because I'm happy with how things are going. But Garrett's been telling me for weeks that you've been telling me for weeks that you've been really looking forward to just
doing all the things I just said.
Yeah, to just doing all the things. Yeah, so I think it's great.
So I'm psyched for this summer.
Yeah.
So I'm set.
No, I'm good. I said what I wanted.
That's June 12th, folks. We will see you tomorrow for some more minutes after for segments.
June 13th. See you tomorrow.
Summer has begun for me.